PBL Scenario A, Higher Education by Yumna, Hannah, Leena, and Cristina. What are the predominant theories that inform higher education's approach to online learning? There's andragogy, constructivism, connectivism, OCL, online collaborative learning, cognitivism, and behaviorism. Andragogy refers to the method and principles used in adult education. Noll's theory of andragogy is an attempt to develop a theory specifically for adult learning and how it differs from the way children learn. In 1984, Knowles posted 4 principles that are applied to adult learning. Adults need to be involved in the planning and evaluation of their instruction. Experience, including mistakes, provides the basics for the learning activities. Adults are most interested in learning subjects that have immediate relevance and impact their job or personal life. Adult learning is problem-centered rather than content-oriented. Constructivism. Constructing knowledge through concrete interactions with their environment, building knowledge through interactions and experiences. Learning happens best when the student is able to build on personal experiences and takes an active role in the learning process. Collaborative and group work and scaffolding are major aspects of this theory. Connectivism. Downs points out that connectivist learning prioritizes collaboration, individual expertise, and open access to content. This helps online learners connect with their classmates and work with them to use course concepts in group settings. Asynchronous learning would not facilitate this sort of networking as easily, though it could still be possible through different software and classroom etiquette. Through connectivism, learners are self-directed and explore diverse ideas. This theory values individual experience and expertise to guide collaborative learning. Connectivism, with more process-based than answer-based learning. The ways that you are thinking and how you are getting to your answers is just as important as getting to the answer. It is also similar to constructivism. The truth is what we agree the truth is. OCL, Online Collaborative Learning. Online collaborative learning theory is a form of constructivist teaching that takes the form of instructor-led group learning online. In OCL, students are encouraged to collaboratively solve problems through discourse instead of memorizing correct answers.
Cognitivism focuses on the mental process of learning, such as the individual ways in which students think and learn, how they arrive at their conclusions, and their metacognition. Learning is seen as an internal process, and the mind is viewed similar to information processing in a computer. That would be how information is received, organized, stored, and later accessed by the mind. Behaviorists believe learning is controlled by invariant principles, which are independent of conscious control on the part of the learner. That could be your educator or teacher providing a stimulus to the student. And generally, behaviorists reject reference to unmeasurable states such as feelings, attitude, and consciousness. The biggest theorists in behaviorism are Pavlov and B.F. Skinner. Some of the commonalities. Between Constructivism and OCL, we see self-reliance, collaborative work, scaffolding, and thinking outside the box. Both behaviorism and OCL promote networking. And behaviorism, cognitivism, and constructivism all view educators as identifying areas which need improvement or where errors have occurred. In the differences, we see behaviorism, cognitivism, and constructivism, whose views differ on where errors occur. Behaviorists see them as errors in students' behavior. Cognitivism views them as errors in the thinking process, and constructivism see them as errors in understanding. OCL and Connectivism. Connectivism relies on positive reinforcement, whereas OCL does not. And OCL and Behaviorism. Behaviorism is structured and instructor-oriented, and OCL utilizes scaffolding methods and has students participate in structuring their knowledge.
What is the rationale why higher education institutes include online learning in its approach? The main reason is because of the allowances and affordances that are simply not visible through traditional course delivery. Traditionally, higher education has relied on a format which has an expert lecturing their large group of students and the transfer of knowledge from the professor to their learners. Implementing an online learning approach allows for higher accessibility and diversity within the learning environment and the content delivery, as opposed to the traditional method which focused on the general academic success of students in a very specific delivery in tests and of knowledge. What are the affordances of online learning in higher education? Accessibility and diversity of learners, flexibility, cost effectiveness, collaboration, learning communities. Encourages educators to incorporate learning tools such as concept maps to connect ideas between a variety of subjects and use thought-provoking questions as a means to integrate experience from one course into another. It was also encouraged in educators to incorporate a variety of multimedia content and resources in the delivery of their course content. This helps students who have a wide variety of learning styles and needs. Online learning can reach countless learners because no in-person classes are required. Promote learners in becoming conversant and capable in the use of a multitude of different software and online resources. Online learning is not only beneficial to the learners but also to the educators. They can reach as many students as they can all over the world, and tutoring can be done anytime, anywhere.
Some of the challenges to online learning in higher education are technical issues, such as access to reliable internet connection and adequate tech devices, possible language barriers with learners coming from all over the world, requires strong independence, time management, self-motivation, and initiative. There's minimal or non-existent in-person contact with peers and professors, and the access to on-campus benefits is limited or non-existent, as well as digital literacy and technological proficiency may be a struggle for learners new to the learning environment. What the major reviews of online learning in higher education are saying about learning approaches. So implementing an online learning approach allows for higher accessibility and diversity within the learning environment and the content delivery, as opposed to traditional method, which focused on general academic success of students in a very specific delivery and test of knowledge. Students who took all part of their course online performed better on average than those taking the same course through traditional face-to-face instruction. Effect sizes were larger for studies in which the online instruction was collaborative or instructor-directed than in those studies where online learners worked independently. Most of the variations in the way in which different studies implemented online learning did not affect student learning outcomes significantly. The effectiveness of online learning approaches appears quite broad across different content and learner types. What are reviews saying about recommended best practices of online learning in higher education? They're saying to incorporate peer assessment, summative assessment of process and group work and participation, highlight the importance of participation and have a minimum requirement for it, for example, discussions. Instructors should adjust workload and structure of online lessons to allow discussions to flow organically. Instructors should incorporate discussion that touch upon past knowledges and experiences. Learners should have ICT to be able to fully participate within online learning environments. They should have supportable software that has a reliable storage. Incorporate threads and forums that are easy to navigate and allow learners to download or attach various files and links. And following that are our references.
Thank you so much for listening.